New videos every day.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to part one of the third installment of Stressing. I'm Peter McCarthy, a certified traditional naturopath. Today, we'll discuss the important question, what exactly is stress? Given the myriad stressors which impact the workforce of corporate America today, it's of utmost importance that employees and managers alike come to a more complete understanding of stress if they're to take meaningful individual and organizational action to alleviate its effects. Since 1956, when the respected biochemist Roger J. Williams demonstrated that we are each biochemically unique, the scientific community has acknowledged that as fact. It stands to reason, therefore, that our view of stress, and therefore our response to it, would be unique also. Actually, the differentiation is made with respect to both the identified stressors and the results of their imposition. While one person cites work-related stress, another may cite family pressures. Still another may indicate classroom-related stress, and the list goes on. In order to provide you with a complete yet understandable definition of the concept of stress, I embarked on a brief journey of exploration and education. I looked at all the available sources which define stress: medical, psychological, business, and even some of the popular blogs. You can read about my journey of exploration in my upcoming book. What I discovered was that there are as many definitions of stress as there are people, regardless of their professional expertise. Some emphasize the stressors themselves, some the results. Some try to incorporate their own experience into the definition, while some use the most sophisticated scientific tools that are available. Now, there are two interesting commonalities with all of these. First, they're all correct from their personal or professional perspective. And second, they all address only a small portion of the definition of stress. It's literally as if each observer or commentator is looking at a small corner of a very large painting and attempting to describe the subject of that painting from the information obtained from that very small corner. Obviously, to derive an accurate, understandable, comprehensive definition of stress, I had to go back to its roots. I had to incorporate the original purpose of the stress response, the reason we humans have been equipped with it since the dawn of time. The answer was simple. The stress response exists to allow us to survive. That survival mechanism is called the fight-flight response. But what exactly is the fight-flight response? Simply put, it's an ancient, automatic survival mechanism whose functioning in the human body has been essentially unchanged for thousands of years. It's the body's way of marshaling its energy resources to either escape or confront threats to its survival. Now, what this means is that the human body's stress response mechanism is essentially unchanged from that of our ancient ancestors. Were we to travel back in time, standing beside our ancient ancestor facing down a saber-toothed cat on a forest trail, our body's responses would be essentially the same. The difference between us and the humans of that time is that today there is a yawning gap between the ability of the human body to respond to stress and the stress load placed upon it. Said another way, we 21st century humans are equipped with a prehistoric stress response, as well as the limitations it entails. What limitations? Well, every living being on this planet continues to exist because it is able to produce energy to sustain that existence. Because we're all finite beings, our available sources of energy for the tasks of living are, by definition, also finite. Look at it this way. When you go to the market to buy your groceries, you usually write a check, pay cash, or use a debit or credit card, right? The common element is that any of these four means of payment involve finite resources. The check or debit card draws from the available balance in your checking account, the cash from the money in your wallet, the credit card from the finite credit limit made available by the bank which issued it. Well, the human body operates in much the same way. Any activity in which it engages or internal process which it operates is constrained by the availability of its finite energy resources. Conversely, just as an overdraw of one's checking account or exceeding one's credit card limit can have an adverse impact on one's financial health, overdrawing your body's finite energy resources, especially through chronic stress, will adversely impact your physical health. So how does that impact the definition of stress? Well, by incorporating all we've just discussed and what you can read about in my book, we can accurately state that stress is any input to the human physiology that expends the body's finite energy resources on activation of the fight-flight response, as well as the resulting effects of those inputs. Now, while most people clearly understand the explanations I've just given, what's been missing from the discussion until now has been a way for people to understand how all the stressors we've discussed fit together and react with the human body, and how those factors impact our health as a result. To accomplish this, I've derived a model called the stress stack to help better understand these complex interrelationships. That'll be the topic of my next video. So if you haven't done so, be sure to sign up for Psychetruth, and I look forward to talking with you next time. So long, folks.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psychetruth channel.